Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is Narayan Rao Kovar. In this video, I am going to explain ordinal utility approach. What is the meaning of ordinal utility approach? What are the assumptions of ordinal utility approach? And what is the meaning of indifference curve analysis? First of all, ordinal utility approach. So, it is a more scientific approach. Ordinal utility approach is more scientific approach because it is a psychological feeling. It is a psychological concept. It is a subjective concept. That is why utility cannot be measured and cannot be quantifiable entity. That is why ordinal utility approach is more scientific approach. Second one is ordinal utility approach is more realistic method. More realistic method. According to cardinal utility analysis, utility can be measured. Utility can be quantifiable entity. But utility is a psychological concept. It is very difficult to measure. But whereas ordinal utility approach is alternative to the cardinal utility approach. So, ordinal utility approach is alternative approach to the cardinal utility approach. Next, ordinal utility approach mainly depends upon scale of references or order of references. So, scale of reference or order of reference or rank of references, ranking of references. That is why ordinal utility approach is more scientific approach, more realistic method, and it depends upon scale of reference. So, the indifference curve technique is mainly based on ordinal utility approach to examine the consumer's behavior. So, indifference curve technique developed by J.R. Hicks and R.J.D. Allen. So, on the basis of ordinal utility approach to examine the consumer's behavior. This is the introduction to the ordinal utility approach. So finally we concluded that according to ordinal utility approach, utility cannot be measured, utility cannot be quantifiable entity. Next, assumptions. So ordinal utility approach mainly depends upon some assumptions. The assumptions are, one is consumer knows his taste and preferences. Consumer knows his taste and preferences, and the full information of all relevant aspects. Consumer knows full information of all relevant aspects. That is, consumer knows his taste and preferences. Second one, consumer possesses full information about all the relevant aspects of economic environment in which he lives. The second assumption is consumer possesses full information about all the relevant aspects of economic environment in which he lives. Next, third assumption is ordinal utility. So, consumer is capable of ranking all consumable combinations of goods according to the satisfaction they yield. This is known as scale of reference. This is known as order of references. This is known as ranking of references. Once again, consumer is capable of ranking all consumable combinations of two commodities according to the satisfaction they yield. But he cannot tell quantitatively how much he prefer more. By the consumer is capable of ranking all consumable combinations of goods according to the satisfaction they yield, but he cannot tell quantitatively how much he prefer more. Next, fourth assumption is more is better. More is better. If combination A has more commodity, if combination A has more commodities than B, then A must be preferred to B by applying monotonic preference. So fourth one is more is better. More is better. If combination A has more commodities than B, then A must be preferred to B. Then consumer prefer A only by applying monotonic preference. What is monotonic preference? Monotonic preference means consumer prefer combination with more of at least one good but not less of other good. This is known as monotonic preference. Next. Another assumption is consumer choices are assumed to be transitive or consistent. Consumer choices are assumed to be transitive or consistent. Consumer has consistent consumption pattern. What is consistent pattern? If consumer prefers combination A to B and B to C, then he must prefer combination A to C also. This is known as transitivity. This is known as consistent. Next, another one is rational consumer. Consumer is a rational consumer. A consumer is a rational consumer who always seeks maximum satisfaction with his limited income. He is called rational consumer. The consumer is rational and he takes rational decisions also. Next, seventh one is homogeneous goods. Commodity should be identical in nature. Or homogeneous or perfect substitutes. For example, apple and oranges. So all apples should be identical and all oranges should be identical. That is called homogeneous goods. Apples anni ఒకే రకంగా ఉండాలి, ఆరెంజెస్ అన్ని కూడా ఒకే రకంగా ఉండాలి. క్వాలిటీలో కానీ, క్వాంటిటీలో కానీ, డిజైన్లో కానీ ఏ ఆస్పెక్ట్లో అయినా ఒకే విధంగా ఉండాలి. యాపిల్స్ అన్నీ ఒకే విధంగా ఉండాలి, ఆరెంజెస్ అన్నీ కూడా ఒకే విధంగా ఉండాలి. హోమోజీనియస్ గుడ్స్. నెక్స్ట్ ఎయిత్ వన్, టూ గుడ్ మోడల్. సో two commodities are taken to explain consumers' behavior. Indifference curve analysis has taken two commodities to explain consumers' behavior. That is called two good model or two commodity model. These are the assumptions of ordinal utility analysis. Next, coming to the indifference curve analysis introduction to indifference curve analysis. So Hicks and Allen's ordinal approach is indifference curve. Hicks and Allen's ordinal approach is indifference curve analysis. It is a modern method. Indifference curve analysis is modern method. Indifference curve analysis mainly depends upon three. One is ordinal utility approach. Second one is scale of reference. Third one is MRS, marginal rate of substitution. So thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe and comment.